Right now, someone who has never heard of your business is asking ChatGPT which company to buy from, and ChatGPT is giving them an answer. The only question is whether it is saying your name or your competitors. And right now, almost nobody is optimizing for this, which means the businesses that capitalize on this early are going to gain a massive competitive advantage over their competitors. I have helped clients like Warmly and Juma pull roughly a quarter of their book demos directly from AI search, close six-figure deals off a single AI recommendations. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact 5-step AI SEO strategy I've already used to consistently get my clients cited and recommended inside ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, and many more AI search engines. There's one thing I need you to understand first, because without this, the rest isn't going to make much sense. For the last 15 years, SEO meant you simply had to write content, rank on Google, measure clicks, and clicks became the #1 thing every marketing team chased. Traffic was the goal, and the more there was, the better it was. But that type of an SEO era is over now, because search has split into two different sides now. There's the old one, ranking on Google, and there's the new one, getting mentioned or recommended by AI. And here's what most people are missing. Ranking #1 on Google no longer means that AI will mention you. You can be the top result on the planet for your category and still be completely invisible inside ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and Gemini. So why does that matter? Because your buyers are already using AI before they ever visit your website. A 2025 Gartner survey of over 600 B2B buyers found that nearly half of them are using AI to research vendors before they ever type a URL into the browser. They're asking an AI for a shortlist. And if someone asks for the best tools in your category and the AI names 3 companies, the buyer might not click any of the links. They'll read the summary, pick the name, and go straight to the company's site. So the click isn't the metric that matters anymore. The number of times your business gets mentioned and how often you're getting visibility on the most important prompts is the thing that you should be focusing on. So the question stops being, how much traffic did I get this month? And starts being, when someone asks an AI for the best tool in my category, am I getting named? Let's start with the first step of the strategy, which is identifying your high intent prompt. Now, the first thing I want you to do is to pick the right prompts to go after, because not every prompt is worth your time. AI search doesn't work the same way Google search does. On Google, you can rank almost for anything if you put in the effort. But on AI, some prompts get answered using external sources that the AI pulls from and cite. Some of them get answered from the AI's own internal knowledge with no sources at all. If a prompt falls into that second group, there's almost nothing you can do to influence it because AI is using an internal data. So you only want to spend time on prompts where the AI is actively pulling from outside sources. Here's how you can check that. You want to open an incognito window, go to an AI platform, type one of the prompts I'm about to show you, and look at it, what it tells you. If the AI lists external sources, you can use that to your advantage to get a visibility there. If it doesn't, move on to the next prompt or platform. Do this for each platform separately because ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude and other search engines, they all pull from the different places. You want somewhere between 10 and 20 prompts if you're starting from the beginning that look outside of the sources, and they should fall into one of the 3 buckets that I'm just going to mention now. The first bucket is competitor focus. This is the most important one, especially in software, because of 2 things. The first thing is competitor alternatives. When someone is looking for an alternative to your competitor, they want to be shown other options, and you want to be on that list. And the second is your competitor versus you, where a buyer is directly comparing you to a competitor and you want to control how that comparison reads. The second bucket is category prompts. Something like, what are the best project management tools for small businesses? Here, the buyers isn't searching for you specifically. They want the best option in your space and you want to be in that answer. The third bucket is jobs to be done prompts. These are how-to questions built around what your product actually helps people to do. If you sell, let's say, a project management software, the prompt might be, how do I manage a remote team across time zone? And your answer is that your tool makes that easy. What you have to do now, you need to start with the first 2 buckets and get those working before you expand further. To find the right prompts, look at your highest converting Google Ads, keywords, your best performing blog pages, and ask your sales team what buyers say they were searching before they found you. Those 3 sources will give you better prompts than any tool will. Now, the step 2 is to start tracking. Obviously, you can't improve what you can't measure. So once you have your prompts, then you have to track them. There are AI visibility tools out there that do this automatically, and they all do roughly the same thing. So just pick any that fits your budget. If you only have 10 or 15 prompts and you're doing this yourself, you can honestly just do it with incognito searches and a spreadsheet and track everything manually. When you set it up, track the platforms where buyers actually are. Then go back to your data and find out where your best customers say they found you. If it's mostly ChatGPT, focus there first. If If you have the budget, track all of them because they all pull from the different sources and behave differently. Most people who start tracking AI visibility only track one thing, whether or not they're mentioning. But that's not enough. You actually need 3 numbers. The first is presence. Out of all the prompts you're tracking, what percentage actually include your brand in the response? If you're tracking 20 prompts and you're only visible in 10 of them, you're only at 50%. That sounds fine until you realize you're completely invisible in the other 10. Next is the citations. This is when the AI is actively pulling content from one of your pages to build its answers, not just mentioning your name, but using your words. And finally, you have to look at the position you're getting. When the AI lists the best tools in your category, where do you appear? It's the top 3 that gets the most exposure than anything below it. Now, here's why all 3 matter together. I work with a company that came to us feeling pretty confident about their AI visibility. We tracked their 15 most important buying intent prompts, and they were getting mentions about 80% of the time. But when we looked at the citations, they were getting only 1% of all of the citations. What that means is, yes, they were getting named and they were getting visibility, but almost none of the content the AI was using to describe them was actually theirs. It was coming from competitors' blog posts, old Reddit threads, and outdated reviews. When we pulled up what the AI was actually saying about them, and all that information was wrong. An old competitor article had said they didn't have a specific license, but they actually got that license the year before, and the AI was still repeating the outdated version. Buyers were showing up to sales calls already misinformed and not showing up at all because the AI had already disqualified them. And while the team thought things were going well because the presence number looked good and they were visible in most of the buying intent prompts, the reality was far away from that. So that's why you track all 3 together. Presence, your visibility, tells you if the AI knows you exist. Citations tell you if you're the one controlling what's being said. And position tells you how prominently your name comes up. The next step is actually understanding what type of content is being cited. But before you create anything new, I want you to do a quick audit of what's already winning for your prompts. Because the AI is already picking sources for the searches you care about, your job in this step is to go look at what is picking and understand why. Take one of your high intent prompts, search it on the platform you're focusing on, look at the cited sources, and click through each one and study the page itself. The first thing that you're looking at is the format. For B2B category and competitor prompts, the format that wins almost every time is a listicle one. So what is a listicle? Listicle is a blog post that lists several tools in a category, each with a short, honest write-up. If the AI is citing that format for your prompt, that's what you'll be building later on. The second thing is which URLs keep showing across multiple variations of the same prompt. If the same page is getting cited again and again and again, there's something working in its structure that you should look at it. The third thing is the most important one. It's where on the page the AI is pulling its answer from. When you find a cited source, go to that page and find the exact section the AI used. Almost every time, it's going to be near the top around the first paragraph, first heading, or first bullet. There are 2 reasons for this. One is that crawlers are giving more weight to the content that appears early on a page because they assume it's the most important thing. So that is the part that is giving context to the AI and crawlers. And AI skips over long introductions and gets to wherever the actual answers start. So if your page spends 500 words on a background before it answers the question, the AI is going to find a page that doesn't do that. So what you're looking for is a clear answer near the top, clean structure, and easy to skim. That's what you're going to build, and I want you to do this audit for every prompt before you write anything. The next step is to build your own content inventory. Why do we want to build our own content inventory? Is because yes, you can get mentions here and there and build a visibility, but this is like building an empire on a rented land. We want to make sure that we are the one feeding AI. This is why we need to build our own content. I know that a lot of people are skipping this, but please don't skip this because eventually you want to make sure that you have your own content feeding the AI. The reason for this matters so much is that if you skip this and rely entirely on other sites to mention, you're building on a ground that you don't own. Those sites can change, pivot, or start working with your competitors, and in a lot of categories, the most cited third-party sources are actually run by your competitors. So you cannot count on them to mention you fairly, or most of the times, they're not even going to mention you because they're your competitors. They're just going to mention some other tools which they don't have a direct competition. This means that the only way to control the narrative is to be the source yourself. Here's what that content looks like. You have to answer one main question per page. The format for most of these is a listicle with a real honest review of every single tool, including yourself. Now, I want you to build them in this order. Start with the competitor alternatives. If you compete with 2 or 3 well-known or more tools in your space, your first pieces are going to be things like best alternatives to competitor X for each one. These have the highest buyer intent because the searcher is actively looking for something different from what they already have. So you have to list yourself in the top 3, describe yourself accurately, and write genuinely useful entries for the other tools too. Then you need to build your defensive content as well. The previous competitor content I mentioned was more offensive. And what is this defensive content? It is a head-to-head comparison. Your competitor versus your brand. These can be landing pages rather than just blog posts because you can use the same URL for paid search and as a sales enablement material. This stops your competitors from controlling how that comparison reads. Then you need to move on to the category content. An example to that, if you're in the project management space, is a best project management tool for remote teams. It is the same exact format as I mentioned before. This is also going to be a listicle, but there are 2 rules on how you write these blog posts. First, don't trash the competition at all. Don't write, filler, or publish 3,000 copy-paste pages. The AI is getting better and better at filtering it out. And even if it wasn't, your buyer is going to read the page and leave. Write it like it's a product marketing page. Cover the features your buyers actually cares about in detail. Put in interactive demos that show how the product works, case studies, and reviews. You have to make the most useful page on that topic. Second, be honest about when a competitor is better for a specific use case. This sounds weird, I know, but it works for 2 reasons. It builds trust because no one believes an article that claims to be the best at everything. Like if you're positioning your tool there and you're saying that you're best at everything, can that really be true? Come on. And it filters out bad fit buyers because they ever reach your sales team so that the ones who do book a call are already a good match. Next section, step 5, is about building off-site mentions. Building mentions is going to improve your visibility score, and it's going to improve your visibility score by a lot. But even with the great own content, you'll still need the mentions from the other sites because AI engines cross-check. They look at third-party sources to confirm what all these sources are saying about you. So this step is going to be all about how do we make sure that we get our name out there in the sources where it matters. So you need to go back to your tracking data. For each prompt, look at which third-party URLs the AI is already citing. You'll usually get back a mix of other people's listicle posts, Reddit threads, YouTube videos, and even sometimes LinkedIn posts. So I'll go through each one and how you can approach them. Third-party listicles are the easiest place to start. You need to find the articles that are listing tools in your category and getting cited by AI. For each one, find the person who actually owns the page, whether that's the writer, the founder, or whoever runs the site. You can do this 2 ways. You can run a broad, like a spray and pray type of an outreach campaign. Basically, you're going to be contacting everyone on the list with a templated pitch, and except that most won't reply, will ask for a payment. That works at a scale, but the reply rates are lower. Or you can go one by one, do it properly, and write personalized messages and get better results with less volume. So one practical example that worked with one of my clients is that we wanted to get a visibility on a listicle that was very important for us, but the company that we're going to reach out is not a competitor, but they're a very well-known tool in the productivity space. And we found the gap, we analyzed it, we already created an outline for what type of content that they could do, and we basically reached out to the person and say, hey, I saw that you didn't cover this topic, and we think that it could bring you the buyers, and we're very happy to write it and publish it from our site and give you a mention, or you can just use the outline or the article that we did and edit it and publish it on your own. And the response was like, oh wow, like we do get a lot of outreach, but most of it is just like, hey, it would be great like if you mention us here and we'll do the same. So we built some initial trust, and we were able to stand out from the crowd because we analyzed their domain and gave them something useful. Now the next step is Reddit, which is harder, but it also has a high value. The AI engines are still pulling heavily from certain subreddits, and Reddit mention on the right thread carries a lot of weight. You're going to find the threads that are actually being cited for your prompts because they're the ones that already have search impact. Now, some of threads will be archived and untouchable, but for the ones that are still active, you can easily go and leave a comment that is not going to get you spam. There are 2 approaches you can take with the Reddit. You can be transparent and you can say that I'm affiliated, or I'm the founder, or I'm from the team of this tool. Some communities will really respect that honesty, but some will downvote you for it and you will get banned. Or another way, you can just find the thread where people are asking for, let's say like the top content management systems. You can just go and do a genuine mention there, mention why this tool is a good alternative. Don't just like put a link there and say like, go to this website and check it out. Just try to understand what the person is looking for. And if your tool fits into that category in the Reddit thread, just go and leave a comment there and don't necessarily say that you are associated. You can test two methods, as I said. The third and the last bucket we're going to focus for building mentions is YouTube. Now here, you can either build a channel of your company or for yourself, which takes time, I get it, or you can sponsor a creator who already have an audience in your space. The format that works here is very similar to blog post that we were talking about. On YouTube, I would focus on getting a category focused videos, such as like best AI productivity tools, best AI marketing tools, best AI GTM tools, and so on. What you can do here is that you can find influencers that are posting something about your space. You can ask them to get a sponsored video. And again, it depends. Like if you're gonna go after the micro influencers, it could be anywhere from like $700 to $5,000 per video. When you do a sponsored video, it's okay. Like if the YouTube creator is going to mention you second, right? As long as you're in the top 3, that's fine. And it's also fine that if they're gonna go and mention that this video is sponsored by the company, that's completely okay as well. By this time, you have the 5-step playbook. If you want to go deeper on the AI search side of this specifically, check the next video because I break down exactly how to rank inside ChatGPT, what makes content get cited versus ignored, and the full process for 2026. I'll see you there.